All right, so welcome back to this week's weekly webinar. I am Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings, and each and every week we come to you with a new multifamily webinar talking to all things about the apartment industry. If you like and want to hear more about all apartments and all things multifamily, make sure you go down there and hit that follow button. So again, I'm Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. We're a multifamily investment firm here in Tennessee focused on buying multifamily assets predominantly in the Southeast. So today, I'm going to talk to you about 5 predictions, we'll say thoughts, about the current state of affairs and where the market is going over the next 6 to 12 months. So first up, I think we've seen a lot of banks pull back and stand on the sidelines, pretty evident out there. But I do see that a number of banks will start coming back to the table as things start to calm, as the storm, even if it continues to go on, a storm that continues, at least we know we're in a storm. But on this front, as the storm keeps changing from a tornado to a flood to high winds to rain to snow, the unpredictability has set a lot of lenders to stay in the sidelines just so they could find where their pattern is going to be. But as banks make money, of course, on lending, they're going to get more active and find ways to put themselves, even if at different parameters, back in the lending pool. Next, number 2, the price discovery. Right now, we're at this price discovery where sellers and buyers are trying to figure out where they fall, right? So it's either that sellers are going to take less or a lower price, or buyers may take a lower return. And right now, we're on both sides of the coin where neither is really bridging the gap. I do believe we're going to see sellers who are coming up or need some events start coming back to the table with a more open narrative to different price discoveries the longer this goes. So ideally, this is going to give a good option for buyers to be able to enter into good deals at a good basis and really offset the additional loan costs that they're taking on for buying these multifamily assets. Next, interest rates. I think we are still going to see interest rates rise for the next 6 months as this continues to show many different reasons why the market stays strong, really driven by the employment field. So many people are still in the labor force. We're still continuing to see a high retention of people at companies right now. So we will continue to see that drive a lot of growth in the market, which is going to force the Fed to really still continue to be aggressive with rates. So that's the bad news. We will see that continue to push forward, which will make, of course, getting seller financing on deals or even assuming existing loans, especially as the assumption potentially would be a lower price expectation, may make sense or may provide more opportunities. Number 4, occupancy rates will stay high, of course, with the lack of housing, the need for housing, the slow out of the gate to get the needed housing on board. However, on the other side of that, although occupancy rates will stay elevated, we will see delinquencies continuing to trickle up here as the renters and the renter pool continues to have a tough time facing their current payment or expense obligations. And lastly, number 5, transaction volume will be muted. Now, that doesn't mean less transaction volume. It means that with the lowering in price expectations or the lowering in purchase prices is that we may still see a number of deals get done, and just the volume of the total origination price on average of each deal is going to start to trend back. So we still will see deals getting done. You can do deals in any market. However, those deals, the volume, the dollar amount of those deals will continue to be lower. So that said, those 5 pieces, banks will come back to the table, will find their way to have a different box to get back. Price discovery, where sellers will entertain lower prices. Interest rates will continue on an upward threshold for at least another 6 months. Occupancy rates stay high, although on that same pattern, we're going to see delinquency rates from tenants continue to trend in an upward pattern. And lastly, transactions will continue. However, the dollar amount per transaction is going to continue to decrease as we go forward for the rest of 2023. So that is our market predictions. Let's see where we fall. We'll come back to this in a number of months and see how we fared on that point. Again, I am Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. Like what you hear, you want to hear more, make sure you go down there and hit that follow button as we come back to you each and every week with a new multifamily webinar. Let's do this.